Hi there. There has been the biggest break so far. This is actually day 39. I'm sorry, it's been 8 whole days. This is the ninth. Oh no, is it the ninth? It is the ninth, but surely that would make it day 40 because there's 30 days in June, not 31. You're fine. Yeah, this is day 39 supposedly of Vloggermas, although you're not getting 39 videos, clearly. Um, my hair's getting longer because I'm refusing to cut it. Barbers are open, by the way. Lockdown has been lifted somewhat. Well, mostly now. The only things that are still closed are gyms, certain like theatres, anywhere where basically there's either a lot of body sweat or a lot of people sitting close together. So the arts are suffering considerably, like musical theatre, etc. And gyms and fitness clubs and everything else, they're just like, get us open, get us open. Why has it been so long? Because I was on a downward slope. I was on a downward slope, and I was slowly drifting back into bad habits, and I was going back to square one. I was sabotaging myself. The last 8 days have been good. Some good days, some bad days, some memorable days actually. Um, just off the top of my head, I can't really remember Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which were the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July, respectively. I can't really remember much that happened there. Saturday was a fairly miserable day because what was going to happen is my brother and sister-in-law were going to do a gender reveal party, which I'm not majorly keen on because it's an Americanism. It's an American party, like, and then it's drifted over here. I think, to be fair, they've been trying for a baby for a long time, so it's important to them to celebrate the milestone. And you know what? It was an excuse to get a lot of people together who haven't seen each other for a long time. We were trying to be socially distanced. We have a fairly big garden, thank God. I do like my garden, thanks to the tireless efforts of my dad, who takes pride in it. Um, but because of the weather, it was postponed a day to Sunday the 5th, and we had a very lovely, lovely time. It was a very good weather. It was quite windy. At some points we had like 40 mile an hour winds, but they were they didn't ruin it by any means. And the sun was out, which means it was really nice. Um, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were fairly. I also played golf on Sunday because I booked the tee time for when the gender reveal was on the Saturday. So when I played golf, I had to hurry up because I was like, although I had a great golf. I met with a lot of friends on golf. So Sunday was really good. Sunday was a really nice little day for me. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know why I did this. I do know why. It's an attempt to self-sabotage. Tuesday night, I just didn't go to bed. Instead of because I was keeping my phone downstairs, like I'm like the good boy I am, turning it off and leaving it downstairs so it can't distract me. Instead, I just opened my Chromebook on my bed, and it was with the guise of productivity because I started off being productive on it by making some things that I'm about to show you. But then I opened Reddit and YouTube, and I got into this awful thing where I can't bring myself away from the screen. I just can't, even though I'm telling myself I should go to bed, I can't. Like there's a hot, like my brain is in two sides and I'm fighting with it. There's a war going on between my own brain. Um, and it was I've got like the lizard brain who's like, no, don't move. And then I want to keep watching YouTube. And then I've got like the sensible part of me who's like, you're going to be shattered tomorrow. Please, for the love of God, go to bed. So I didn't actually end up going to bed till it was basically morning. It was let's put it this way. I'm not going to say what time I went to bed, but I'll put it this way. Some people get up at the time I decided to go to bed. So it was shocking and I was deeply ashamed of myself. Um, so basically I got very little sleep Wednesday morning, and then I thought I was gonna, because Wednesday was supposed to be the day that I start something, because I calculated that Wednesday is exactly 8 weeks before my birthday, where I turned 26, right? My birthday's on the 2nd of September. And then I realised I woke up shattered and I was like, had no motivation to do anything. And then I don't know what it is. I was like, no, fuck this. I'll write off today, but I'm not writing off tomorrow. And amazingly, despite how tired I was, I didn't have a nap. I swung some coffee and I just finished what I was doing in order to get myself ready to effectively do what I'm about to show you, which is get myself fucking in order. And I'm actually quite proud of this. And today, Thursday the 9th, has been fucking great because of it. So I'll show you. So this is my whiteboard. Got a calendar on here. I cleaned my whiteboard. I had a lot of shit I didn't actually need. And so I've got, this is X effect, right? So the idea is that you cross off boxes as and when you complete whatever it is. So I've got a total of 9 habits that I'm trying to get in the habit of doing every day. Now, side note, you're not supposed to, they advise, the X Effects subreddit says don't try and take on too much at once, because you'll overwhelm yourself and you won't be able to do it. Basically, you'll burn out. I've tried to do X Effect a lot in the past. I've tried to take on too much, and admittedly that's exactly what happened. I burnt out. I was like, this is too much. And then you start to give yourself little excuses and concessions, and then before you know it, you're not even trying on any of them. And then I've done it where I've done one at a time rather patiently, and it's still gone to shit. So I've gone back to trying to do all of them at once. But the thing is here is I'm feeling really good about it, because I'm interacting with the whiteboard every single day. Now the problem is in my motivation, I got this nailed to the wall, right? But I never used it because I never had a purpose to interact with it every day. I wasn't actually interacting with the whiteboard. So I got my pens and everything. Like, I could have been writing and rubbing off and writing down ideas and anything, but it just wasn't sticking. And once I'd had a wave of motivation and written down everything under the sun, I'd be really reluctant to rub it off, which is, again, the fucking purpose of this, because I'm supposed to be interacting. My relationship with the whiteboard is I interact with it every day. So a waste of time, right? But what this does is, so I've got my X effect here, which I'll go through in a second. I've then got 6 habits that I want to stop, that I want to lose, basically my worst habits. I've got my routine here. Now there's no time scale to this. These are just actions that I want to follow on to each other. If you Atomic Habits by James Clear, it was inspired by the section of habit stacking. So what you do is you stack lots of things onto each other, and it creates momentum. And you don't need to find momentum to do, or find motivation to do the next thing. You just naturally combine actions together. So before you know it, you're on like a treadmill. You're on a conveyor belt almost, just through your morning or evening routine. And that's how you can combine a lot of good habits together all at once, so you don't need to keep finding motivation to do them. So I'll take them. So wake up, no snooze, because I don't want to get in the habit of laying in bed after the alarm clock's gone off. Smash a pint of water because I'll be dehydrated after sleeping for 8 hours. Splash water on face as a way of getting up. This is press-ups. I'm actually doing pull-ups instead, using this thing, which I attached to my door briefly, at the top of the door. And that just makes that work. So the reason I'm doing pull-ups is because I recently sprained my wrist, and I found when I was doing push-ups, I kept re-spraining my wrist. I was like, you know what? I need to do better. I'd rather be good at pull-ups than push-ups anyway. And I have the apparatus to do pull-ups from any door in the house, and sod it. If push-ups are hurting my wrist, I'd much rather just do pull-ups. And so far, pull-ups haven't hurt. So, and then basically I just go through, even including poo. Why would I even write poo on a habit thing? They say that your digestive system can be made into like a regular habit, just as much as any part of you. Like if you train yourself to go to the bathroom the same time each day, basically it will become a habit and your body will be ready for it every day. I'm like, well, let's be real, I'd rather just smash a shit right at the beginning of the day. So that's the idea. As soon as I have breakfast, like I clean away my kitchenware, I make a smoothie, and then have a shit. Ideal. Like, this is life hacks. Like, too much information. Life hacks 101. Trick your body into wanting a shit the same time every day. Amazing. The world we live in. You can tell I'm being rather sarky. Like, basically, meditation, gratitude, self-hypnosis. I've yet to actually write and record the self-hypnosis script, but I'm doing it this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I'll show you in a sec. And then this is kind of goes into lunch routine where I do some productive things like clean phone storage and delete emails and whatever. And then my evening, it begins with walking the dogs. And then I do a vlog, edit the vlog, cook dinner, eat dinner, clean kitchenware. And then basically, like, it's habit stacking. It's doing a lot of productive things at once. So I'm always maximizing how I start the day and how I end the day. So those are the X effects. That's my habits that's the habit stacking. Here, I've got a weekly to-do list. So this piece of paper here will actually be replaced once a week. I'll have to print it off again every Sunday because I'm starting on midweek Thursday. So this is empty. But basically, this is the crux, right? Instead of writing a to-do list on the whiteboard and then forgetting about it and never rubbing it off, what I do is I write a to-do list and I actually give myself a day for it, and I'm actually trying to get them off each day. So it's way better. I don't know how the penny didn't drop before, but writing to-do lists, even if you're trying to write a to-do list, you're not actually like setting aside time to do that thing. You're just listing a bunch of things you have to do. If anything, it just makes you more stressed because you've got a long list and you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to do all that? So you try some of it and then you kind of lose momentum and then you just have the same list to do the next day and the next day. So I was like, I don't know how it took me this long to realise if you just give yourself a day to do each item, suddenly you're way more productive. That's embarrassing. I'm 25, by the way, if you wanted to know. So today's been really good. I'm understanding this is the first day, but I'm really conscious to get everything on my X effect crossed off. So I still need to do a little bit of voice work for an hour today. And that's what we're doing right now. So that'll get crossed off once this is uploaded to YouTube. This is my fitness routine starting Thursday again for 8 weeks, finishing on my birthday, 2nd of September. I did hill sprints this morning and I've done 3 pull-ups, all of about 3 pull-ups because I'm so bad at pull-ups. The idea is that by the end in 8 weeks time, I'll be able to do 21 pull-ups. We'll see about that. That might be fairly ambitious. This right here, this is actually covered slightly. If we move this up, you'll see goals and milestones. So basically, this is split into weeks. So that's week 8. So there's 8 weeks time. That's the week where I turn 26. And then I've got this here. Basically, each week I've got goals to do regarding my business. So by the time I turn 26, I've done 8 weeks of consistent hitting goals, and 8 weeks is a milestone. And then I'm planning in 8 weeks time, once this is all over, obviously it will have to be replaced and updated. Sorry, a lot of gas. I had a lentil stew, so quite gassy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, once it has to be updated, I'm obviously going to change the timescale. The next one will be 4 months. It'll be from September the 2nd to December the 31st, which is exactly actually it'll be September the 3rd. September the 3rd, which I think is a Friday? No, it's a Thursday. It'll be September the 3rd to December the 31st, which is exactly 120 days. And I love it when it's a nice even round number. So I'll be able to make a lot of milestones. I'll make a milestone at the end of September, a milestone at the end of October, November, and then a big one at December. Okay, then you've basically just got a weekly routine, This is from waking up till lunchtime, and this is from after lunch to lights out at night. This is optimistic. I didn't wake up at that time today, right? So I need to just try and follow that the best I can, and I'm not going to punish myself if I fail, if I don't quite follow it. The point is if my dad or my brother ask me to do something, or I have to do some, or there's like an event where that timetable gets thrown out the window, the point is that I can come back and have a sense of, oh, okay, this is where I left off. Oh, this is what I should be doing now. So there's always something to do. Even if I haven't written a to-do list for the day, I can be like, what should I be doing right now? Oh yeah, voice work, or oh yeah, walking the dogs, etc. So it's really just designed to maximize my productivity, and I try and follow it the best I can. Obviously, the idea is that most days I will follow it to a T, to maximize the productivity of the day. My sleeping routine is nowhere near me turning the lights off at 10:15 and then waking up at 5:15. It's nowhere near. It's nowhere near that. And I'm okay with that because I'm working towards it. Each day, in fact, I plan to get around there by the start of next week. So I've got 4 more nights of this week, and each day I'm planning to just go to bed earlier, wake up earlier, go to bed earlier, until I hit that. And if I have a day or two in the week where that timetable gets thrown out the window because life happens, or I end up working for dad, which means obviously I can't be doing voice work, or I have to go to this part of the country because whatever business. I mean, I'm working very part time for a friend's company. So there'll be times where I have to drive quite far. And it's like, obviously, I'm not going to factor in those days into a weekly timetable. The point is it gives me an anchor. I can see when I get back into the house, or when I'm finished up with something, I'll be like, right, what can I be doing? So that's how that works. So, as I said at the beginning in my disdain, a lot of productivity paraphernalia. However, it has made me very switched on, and it has made me very motivated. I think when it comes down to a lot of self improvement and a lot of new habit tracking and schedules and everything, most people fall down because they just don't want it hard enough. I think ultimately you can do anything if you are motivated enough. If you really, really want to do something, it's going to get done. If you fall down, it's because ultimately, at some point, you decided that wasn't worth it. And the key thing here is amateurs get distracted, professionals keep to the schedule. As I've written down, this is something I took from Atomic Habits, right? You have to fall in love with boredom, with mundanity, with slow incremental progress. Have patience, have faith in the process. Failure to complete this challenge is a vote for stagnation. Each successful day is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. That sounds incredibly fucking cheesy, but it's true. Ultimately, if you put your mind to it and you really fucking want something, it's gonna happen, right? In here, build momentum, compound your returns, don't break the chain. And then the quote I've literally just said. Not breaking the chain is key. I want to build up momentum with the X effect by tracking my days. And even when I'm only a few days in, I'm like, right, well, this is day 5, for example. The last 4 days have gone spectacularly. What am I going to do? Chuck it away? No, I'm going to keep up momentum. It's just like a steam train. That's a pretty powerful metaphor because it's so visual and so obvious. It takes so much effort to get a steam train moving. But once it's moving, and you have to put less and less effort in order for it to cover a long distance. And that's exactly what momentum is. That's exactly what it's all about, like compounding your habits in order to get large reward. The first 3 weeks, or the first 3 months even, perhaps, are going to be hard, right? It's going to be difficult. But nothing worth shouting about comes easy, okay? Without risk, you won't have comfort. It's a very paradoxical idea in the sense you have to chase pain. You have to chase discomfort. Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing, right? I only live a really fucking cushy life because of the sacrifices of my ancestors and my parents, right? You have to you have to get out your comfort zone. You will never grow as a person if you stay where you're comfy. And it's a paradox, but you have to chase responsibility, you have to chase pain, you have to chase boredom and incremental steps of progress. Every single thing in life that promises instant gratification, generally speaking, is not worth it, because you'll get gratification now, but it's just going to delay your momentum, your progress. It's cheap, it's easy, it's worthless. Delayed gratification, where you have to sludge through the shit now in order to get a more worthwhile reward later on. That's what you have to prepare yourself for. And I kind of wish someone told me this when I was like 13, because I kind of knew it. I obviously vaguely understood the idea and knew it back then. But you have to really live in discomfort. You have to push yourself. And if that means getting up at 5 a.m. and doing fitness twice a day, if that means fucking spending hours creating a business, that's a massive risk because it might not ever pull off. But you have to do it because you know it will complete you. You know it will be so worth it in the long run if you pull it off. And what a great thing to be able to show friends and family. Not only will they respect you more, but it'll be an actual thing that you made, that you brought into the world through blood, sweat, and tears. You created something great. And you can only do that if you're willing to be uncomfortable. There's a great, I can't remember it now, but I wrote down basically like a few sentences that really kind of summed it up. And it's just like, I don't shirk from pain, fear, or discomfort. I run to it. That's essentially the kernel of the idea, and basically what I've just been talking about for the last like 10 minutes. It sounds very cheesy, it sounds very self-improvementy, but basically that's what it's all about. I have to do it. I have to do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to stagnate and be the same person in half a year or 5 years' time. If I'm still where I am in 5 years' time, fucking shoot me, because I would have wasted my 20s. I would have wasted my life, basically. So don't fucking fall down. Don't fail. And I'm very motivated, especially because I've got things like, this is the great thing about that whiteboard and what I've set up. I'm getting loads of ideas down. Instead of writing it on a to-do list hidden on my phone in some app that I'll never reopen later in the day, or I have to write it down in a very visible place, in a place I have to interact with every day. And I have to give it a day. I have to say, I'm doing this on this particular day. And so I don't feel overwhelmed where I'm like, I've got so much to do. I've already scheduled. I'm like, well, I'm doing this Thursday, this Friday, this Saturday, this Sunday. And suddenly it's like, oh yeah, this is actually a plan now. I can actually do this. This is achievable. This is something that's within my grasp. I don't have 100 things to do and I don't know how to do them. It's simple, obvious things. But like before, I was writing to-do lists in a little notebook that I would easily just chuck down and never open for like a few days, or on my phone where it's an app that isn't on my homepage. You just have to get rid of all the clutter, and just make it easy. Just make your bad habits difficult and painful to do, and make the good habits really easy and simple. And part of this is actually a widget which you can get for Google Chrome. I assume you can get it probably for every browser. It's not a widget, sorry, it's an extension. It's called Momentum. This is only the free version. I am toying with getting the paid version. It's only a few pounds a month. But basically, you have a to-do list here. I've walked the dogs now, so I can cross that off. I'm going to do invoices in a little bit because I'm owed some money. And then I'm going to work on my dad's website for an hour. I know that is quite late, but I'm still, working towards. As long as lights off before midnight, I think I'll be pretty happy tonight. That means that is an improvement from yesterday. And then I'm going to just do some demo materials and scripts for my voice demo, because one of my if you remember, one of my habits, I don't know why, one of my habits to do every day is work at least 1 hour on my voice work business. These 3 boxes here, they are weekly things. So I'll write the books I've read. So 1 book goes there. So I'm not like trying to read a book a day. I'm reading a book a week. I'm cooking 1 new recipe a week, and I'm watching at least 1 new movie a week. I used to be a movie geek, watching movies like every day, like honestly a movie a day. I actually built up a pretty good like library in my head of most directors' filmographies and everything else, which it was obviously necessary because I was doing a film degree. But I haven't been watching a lot of movies recently, and I fucking love movies. So it's just an important thing, just as a reward for working so hard. It's like, hey, watch a movie. I've even scheduled it in the timetable. Wednesday's my movie nights. So instead of reading, after I've walked the dogs and had dinner and brushed my teeth, etc., instead of reading and going to bed, I just watch a movie. 1 day of the week, I get to watch a movie. So that's nice. But back to this. This is called Momentum. And it basically, you write your like 1 key task for the day here, and then it has like an inspirational quote from here, like at the bottom, and this is just like the sayings. It has weather up top, but more importantly, it automatically becomes your homepage, which is great. By the way, this background changes depending on what time of day it is. So obviously, it's quite dark outside. So this is a sunset wallpaper. Sorry, I had to pause it briefly there. And this, basically, I have to interact every time with my Chromebook. I have to interact with this, and it immediately just puts front and center everything that you're supposed to be doing today. And it's just, it puts your 1 key task for the day right in front of you, and it's just really simple, really minimalist, really quite gorgeous to look at as well. The paid version is just basically a lot of customization, and loads of extra features like a timer, statistics about how you're using your device, etc. It's not necessary, I don't think, at this moment in time. If I end up really kind of loving this extension, which I already am, I'll probably download it. I'll probably go for the paid version because it's only a few pounds a month. It was recommended by a YouTuber called Ruby Granger, I think. Ruby Granger. She's like a productivity freak, but in a good way. So, as you can see, the last 8 days, I've had a lot of ideas about what I'm going to be doing. I wouldn't call it busy because I've wasted a lot of time in the last 8 days, but Tuesday night was a low point for me. And I always do this. I always kind of self-sabotage and create a massive low point where I just binge watch content for like 12 hours straight, and then I feel awful afterwards and I have no sleep. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not doing it again. But honestly, something about this feels new in the sense that it feels like it's gonna stick. I really want to complete this 8 weeks. I really want to be able to say, hey, look, every X effect box is ticked off. I never missed a day. Look how productive. Like, how awesome would it be if I could actually share stuff with you that I've been productive for? I'd love that. So, yeah, it hasn't been ultimately a productive 8 days, but I'm in a good place now. So, that's where I'm at. This was day 39, and it's the 9th of July 2020. See you tomorrow. And it will be tomorrow because I made it an X effect. I have to vlog each day. So no more massive breaks. I will be vlogging every single day for the next 8 weeks and beyond. Thank you. I realise I just play with my hair every time I vlog. So like literally most of the videos is just me talking to you going like this. And I imagine that's really annoying, but it's habit I don't care to get rid of as of right now. I've got long hair. I've never had this hair this long before, so fuck it. I'm gonna keep running my hands through it. I can't even speak anymore. I'm tired. It's been a long day. See you later.